Hey you guys, it's me Lemel, and we have a major update. The heating system for the fish room is finally complete, and we are in for a treat because Zach is going to explain it all to us. And we are very lucky to have him make us a heating system for our magnificent fish room. So the first thing that we need to go over is, are you ready? You're not ready yet? Okay. Okay, Zach, explain to us why you chose the heating system that you did.
So,
Well, first, I guess, say what's it called? What type of heating system is it?
what's a hydronic loop?
Okay.
Okay, so it's hot water radiant baseboard heating, right? They're 16 feet baseboard heater, which run around the exterior of the fish room.
Okay.
And I basically just stole hot water from the water heater that we already have.
Yeah.
And so all the heat that's coming in here is technically coming from our natural gas instead of electricity.
Which is
Cheaper.
more cost efficient.
Right. But the biggest struggle is there's fish tanks on all four walls. And I had to come up with some sort of a heating system that could heat the room but wouldn't cook the fish tanks right in front of the heater. So an infrared heater on any of the walls was no good, or to cook the tank right in front of it. Like a ductless mini split, same thing. There's nowhere on the walls to mount it. A ceiling hung unit can't happen. There's too many outlets in the way and lights, and there's really nowhere to put a ceiling hung unit. So I just figured I'd go with some baseboard heat that I stole from the water heater. And then, in conjunction with that, instead of just having them cook the area behind those tanks over there,
Yeah.
I put a little fan on the wall.
Yeah, we're going to go back there in a second.
And when the baseboard heater heats up, there's a little sensor that clicks and turns the fan on when the heaters are hot.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll help move the warm air around.
For the whole room.
Kind of even it out, you know?
Okay, so let's take a look at these baseboard heaters back here. And I'm wearing the baby, so luckily there's a light on. And there's your fan. And that heater goes that way too.
Yeah.
I can't get
it
back
goes
there.
Back there and to the right another 8 feet.
Okay, let me out, Waylon. Waylon hates it. Okay, let's, you want to go into the utility room and explain how you hooked it up?
Yeah. I gotta find my little door key. Okay.
Go ahead.
Alright, well, let's come over here and we'll start at the beginning. The whole heating system plugs into here,
Okay.
right? And I can do that because it's only drawing probably an amp of power,
Okay.
just like nothing.
Because it just runs the pump, right?
The pump and the fan. And the little pump mounts on the wall back there, but the heating loop, so the pump pulls from the hot water line and pumps the residual back into the tank after it goes through the fish room, heats the fish room up.
Okay.
Heats it back into here, and then the tank warms it back up, so on and so forth. But there's a little check valve here, so it can't pump it the wrong way into the house.
Right, it can't go back to the cold part.
Right. Which would be bad. There's a little pump, and when the fish room needs heat, the pump will come on, circulate the hot water through there.
Let me get a shot of this pump. That's the pump. Okay. And then?
Alright. It plugs in over there, which powers up this control panel
Yeah.
that I made. And it didn't come with any of the lights or the electrical bushings on the side or nothing. I had to do all that.
Yeah, it was just a metal box when you got
It's just
it.
an empty metal panel. But the white light means that it's calling for heat.
Mm-hmm.
So the heat's running, the pump's on, the heat's circulating. And the green light means that that sensor in there is reading that the pipes are hot and the fan is on.
Okay.
And so that means the fan's running.
And there's a light in the middle that's not lit up. What does that mean?
So that's like the alarm.
That's a red light.
Right. So there is a sensor, a remote sensor in that room that if it reads 105 degrees, it will trip a safety, which will shut the pump off, but allow the fan to still run.
Now explain why you chose 105 degrees and how it's safe for the fish. Because people are going to think that the fish are going to cook at 105 degrees.
Well, your tanks are always cooler than the air temp, right?
Right. Because
You got-
the evaporative
you
cooling.
got evaporation and all. And then if the heat was ever stuck on for some reason, the air temp would reach 105 so long before, how much does a 20-gallon tank weigh?
20 times 8 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, 150 pounds or so. So 150 pounds of water is going to take a lot longer to heat up.
So the air would be 105. We would get a notification that it's too hot. The tanks would never reach 105.
Right.
So the fish would be safe.
In theory, yeah.
As long as we caught it in time.
Well, this would shut the heat off.
Oh, that shuts it off if it reaches 105 in that room.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it shuts the heat off, but the fan will stay on and keep circulating air around the room.
Okay.
So this will force the heat off. So if we don't catch it right away, it shouldn't be the end of the world.
Okay.
And then this is a little fan switch. And right now the fan is being controlled by
The heat.
the sensor on the water pipes.
Right, since there's hot water going through the
The
pipes.
fan's running.
Because you have the room set to 80 degrees or 85.
85.
So the hot water's going to run through the pipes until that room reaches 85 degrees.
Yeah.
And that's why the green light's on, and that's why the fan is on.
Yeah.
Once we reach 85 degrees,
Then the pump shuts off, but the fan keeps running until the pipes cool down.
right, to spread the heat throughout the room.
Right. To keep trying to pull heat off of those heaters for as long as they're hot.
Okay.
As efficiently as possible.
Okay.
And then this is a fan switch. So if you ever decide that you just want the fan on without the heat,
You can just put it to
you
manual.
just do that and the fan will be on all the time without the heat.
Okay.
Or you can do that and it'll only come on with the heat.
Yeah, and we're going to print out some stickers
And,
to label the lights and stuff.
and
Later.
then this is the disaster. That is the control panel.
It's not a disaster. All right, I'm zoomed in
Right.
a little bit if you want to explain it.
So this is the high limit sensor,
Okay.
right? This is the relay. This red and white wire go to the thermistor,
Okay.
and this thermistor is located in front of the rack of tanks closest to the heater.
Okay.
So if this 77-degree sensor ever reaches 105, it'll shut the heat off,
Okay.
and that is as close to the heaters as it can be.
Okay.
Right. Other than that, there's really not much else to see in here. Looks a lot better when it's closed.
Okay, what else do we need to say about the heating system?
Well, it's roughly 5,000 BTUs of heat. If you're talking about a return temperature of 65, and we're thinking about something closer to 85, so our BTUs are going to go down, which would probably give us about 4,000 BTUs, which, if you ask me, is right on the cusp of how much we need to heat that fish room.
But we're also banking on
So-
the hot water too.
Right, so I'm putting the rest of my money on us adding tempered, 86-degree water into those tanks for water changes.
We can control that though. Some people will say 86 is too high.
Well, we have a thermostatic mixing valve that takes hot and cold, mixes it, tempers it before it goes through our filter system. And it goes from 68 to like 130. So we can really do anything we wanted.
Yeah, but if I'm
But-
just doing like a 5% or a 10% water change, then adding 86-degree water is okay.
Right, especially if it's dripping in at like a gallon per hour. Or 2
Yeah,
gallons per hour.
drips in super slow.
And then it's still got to go 40 feet through pipes before it gets there. So it's not entering the back there. If this temperature gauge says 86, it's not 86 when it gets to the tanks.
Yeah, it's like a couple degrees cooler.
Yeah. But even so, if water's gone in above 80, it's going to help heat that fish room.
Yeah, and if we notice we have problems with the water temperature in the tanks being too high, we can just turn it down.
Yeah, because it's just a regular thermostat on the wall in there.
Yeah.
So you can set the fish room temperature to whatever you want.
Yeah.
Same thing with that high limit switch. I can adjust that up and down.
Yeah, so we're not stuck at 86 degree water and 85 degrees for the room. We can change it. Okay.
It's probably going to take some playing to get perfect.
Yeah.
Some fine tuning here and there.
Yeah. And certain species want certain temperatures, so I want to put my cooler species on the bottom rack and my warmer species on the top rack.
Yeah, but I've got that FLIR camera now, that infrared camera.
Yeah.
That you can point at the tanks and it'll tell you whatever tank temperature is.
Yeah. Okay. Should we show... Waylon's asleep now, so get the thermistor.
Okay.
So here's our thermostat, just like a regular house thermostat. What else do we have to show?
Oh.
Yeah, you have it set to 85.
So you can set it up and down.
Yeah, and this is right by the door, which is the furthest part away from the heaters. It's diagonal from the heaters. This corner is juxtaposed from that corner. What else was there? Where's the thermistor?
The thermistor for the high limit is this wire.
Oh.
And the thermistor is over here in this corner.
Okay. So this is the one that if it reaches 105, the heat kicks off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that thermistor wires in and then goes up the back and out of the fish room.
Okay. I'm going to walk behind the tanks to show the other part of the heater for people.
Yeah. We could probably turn that fan down. The fan's on high. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be on high. Because that thing moves a ton of air.
Alright, I'm trying to get back here. I got the kid on me. Look, babe, it's like a family adventure. Okay. Alright, so this is the water line that comes in or out?
That's
Out. That's
in from the water heater.
yeah, okay.
So this is the hot coming into the heating system.
And then it goes through these baseboards. You did a great job mounting this fan. I like that.
Yeah, there's four Tapcon screws holding
What should I change this to?
one. That's off. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I'm gonna go under the fan. Okay. And then that's the hot water that goes out. What's the thing strapped to this pipe?
That's the aquastat that tells the fan to come on.
Okay.
So when that gets hot, it waits for all of the heaters to heat up, and the fan comes on last.
Okay.
Move.
What else do we need to show back here that has to do with the heat system?
I don't know. It just goes out. after
Okay.
that.
Okay, so that's it.
Hopefully.
Okay, you guys, that's it. That's our heating system. I'm very lucky to have such a mechanically inclined husband that is an expert HVAC technician to do all the things for the heat.
We didn't mention. I insulated this entire.
Yeah, we did. Waylon just watched. And that's it. So we'll see you next time for the next update. We're gonna be talking about this automatic water change system. Yes, sir. Almost done that too.
Yeah, then I'm not going to know what to do with myself.
I'll give you another project, don't
I
worry.
spent 2 years on this.